Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to AdoraHack. My name is Adora, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing something that I actually did not plan to share. It's not a video I plan to shoot. I usually have some kind of content calendar set up, and this wasn't a video like in the calendar. This wasn't one of the videos that I planned to shoot. But there was recently a clubhouse room, and then this whole thing, like, people went on and on about, you know, why companies currently don't hire junior engineers today, and all of that. And I was actually one of the speakers in the room, and I remember one of the questions that was asked in that room that day was the fact that yes, we know that companies do not currently hire junior engineers. We're not here to talk problems, right? We're here to talk solutions. And what can engineers do to be hireable, or to be more hireable, or to get more opportunities? And because of that, I've decided to come up here today and talk about how I got my first software engineering job for people that were not able to join the clubhouse room that day because they do not have iPhones. I shared it in the room that day, but I don't think it would be fair to not share it beyond the room, because there are lots of people that couldn't make it for some reason, and there were also a lot of people that didn't like maybe couldn't make it because of time, or don't have iPhones, or don't have Clubhouse or anything like that. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Hello everyone, my name is Adora, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, hi and welcome. If you're new here, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. So like I said, today I'm going to be sharing my story about how I got my first software engineering job, and I'm just going to get into it real quickly because I don't want to make this a long video, to be honest. So the first thing I want to say is that I studied CS in university. I am actually a CS major. I remember when I got into uni, like 100 level, 200 level, people around me, I saw them, like a lot of people in my class used to do freelance gigs. So fast forward to when I was in my fourth year, right? I had to do an internship. I had to do a 6 months. So yes, in Unilag, by the way, which is the school I went to, computer science is 5 years. I don't know why computer science is 5 years. Please, if you see people that made the curriculum, help me and hold their shirts. Help me and hold their shirts, because I don't get why computer science is literally 5 years. Like in my fourth year, 4 years, second semester, you're going to go for some kind of industrial training, like internship program. It's a mandatory thing, like everybody has to do it, right? So you go on some internship program for 6 months, and in that time I remember it was very hard for me to get a place. My dad got me a place, but I want to be someone that does my own things by myself because I want to do it, not because I got lucky or because somebody helped me. Yes, once in a while I recognize my privilege. Once in a while I actually use it to my advantage when I have to be resourceful. But most times I use it for things that I'm sure that maybe I can't do myself. And maybe getting IT placements would have been one of those things. So my dad got me a programming internship at one of these banks. I'm not going to mention the name of the bank, but personally I'm like, see, I'm not about to be wearing skirts and tie and shirt every day, please. That was not my main reason of rejecting the bank, but I just didn't see myself as someone that wanted to work in a bank, you know. So I tried different places. I remember some days, some friends in my class would set up that, like, we would Google different companies that we want to go and apply to that day. We'll write them down, and then one of my friends that drove, he's the one that like would drive us around, because it was him, me, and one of my other friend. So 3 of us were always looking for placements together, right? And we were going to like different places. I went for different interview on top internship. As in, I went for different interviews. Some will tell me, oh, we'll get back to you up to today. Up to today. At least send me a rejection letter. Let me know that, okay, you not pick me. Some of them, all these will get back. They will not fucking get back to you, sis. They will not get back to you. Carry your bags and be going. I'll find somebody. So they said they will get back. Some didn't get back. Some got back. They said that if I'm going to take free internship, I should come. They can't pay me. And I'm like, the free internship, let's see, right? So I had not accepted, I hadn't declined yet. I had a friend in my class, his sister-in-law used to work in some agency, yeah? And then he's like, oh, that they're a new agency, they're hiring developers, they're hiring interns, they're hiring female interns is that something I'm interested in? I'm like, excuse me, please, what? Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. Your servant. So I went. That one is a whole different story. Maybe if you really want to hear my experience as an intern in that company, I can share it in a different video. But I went there, did the interview, got in, and I started working there. So my first 6 months working there went really well. When I was done working there, I remember the CEO at the time called me and she's like, oh, we really appreciate your 6 months of working here. It's time for you to go back to school now. What are your plans? Your final year, this one. They gave me a bonus. My salary was very small. But at the end of the internship, they gave me a bonus, which was like ×3 of my salary, because they really appreciated me and it was like a farewell. And then she's like, if there's any way that you need, because I was now the only person that ended up going there from my school. So I was the only intern, and then like all the load was on my head. But either way, we did it, we came out. So she was like, if there's anything that I need when I'm back in school, that I should always reach out, I can always come visit. And I'm like, there's actually something I need from you. And she's like, sure, what is it? So I was like, yeah, I don't want to quit this job just yet. I've noticed this Nigerian trend of you graduating and coming out and getting a job that doesn't have anything to do with what you studied because that's the only job that was available. I'm going to give you an example. I know somebody that studied mechanical engineering. This guy studied mechanical engineering. He graduated. He came out. Baba was looking for a job. He did not see. And he ended up working in a bank. I didn't want to be one of those people that would graduate and I'll end up like maybe in a bank, or I'll end up in some kind of KPMG or PwC or Deloitte or EY, all these big 4 or big 5 consulting, because they're always hiring graduate interns, right? I didn't want to go through the route of accounting, and I also didn't want to end up in a bank. And I started thinking that, like, the way Nigeria is set up, you need job to get experience, but you also need experience to get a job in this country, especially when it's not a graduate trainee job, and it's not all the industries that actually do these graduate trainee programs. So I'm like, yo, I'm not about to graduate. And although a master's degree was also in my mind, I didn't think it was wise to get a master's degree at the time, because like I said, I'd watched the people that come before me, a lot of like my friends, because I have like a lot of older friends, and I'd seen that some people would actually graduate, go and do a master's degree immediately, and then come back to start fighting for the jobs that people with ordinary BSc have, and you have BSc, MSc, but because you don't have work experience, last all of you will be thrown into the same job. I didn't want all those things for myself. I wanted something different. So I told her that, see, I'm not ready to quit this job yet. Can I go back to school and be working? Like, I knew I was gambling with my GP. Like, I knew I was freaking gambling with my GP. But at that point, I'm someone that has always wanted to graduate with a first class, like since I was in like SS2 or something. When I heard that, okay, when you enter university, first class is like the highest thing. Because I don't want to say I'm pretty smart, so it doesn't sound like I'm bragging, but a lot of people say that I'm pretty smart, right? So I'm someone that has always wanted to graduate with a first class. And in that moment, it's like as if I was gambling with my GP, because I was on a first class, yes, but it was like on a borderline, like a 4.5 something first class. And if I had done what I did and I wasn't able to keep up, that would have meant that I would have maybe ended up graduating with a 2-1. But in that moment, on God, I did not care. Like, I did not care. Because for me, what was important was, a 2-1 is still a really good grade to graduate with, right? And I want to leave school with work experience. I want to leave school with some work experience, so that even if at some point I'm done with school and I still go back to this agency and work there for like a year or 2, post NYSC, it cannot be easy for me to, at that time, at the time when I was making all these decisions, this was like 2016. So the tech community was literally just finding its footing. What the tech community is now isn't what it was then. So maybe now I would have made a different decision. I decided to stay in that firm, regardless of whether I was going to hurt my GP or not. Thankfully, it did not hurt my GP in any way. I ended up still graduating with a first class. I won on both ends, essentially. I graduated with a first class. Instead of me being an intern for 6 months, I ended up being an intern for almost 2 years. So I already had a 2 years internship that was going to be on my CV. With all the volunteer work I was doing, I was building up my resume gradually. Still as a student, I was already thinking about what my life outside school was going to be like. I wasn't waiting for anybody to tell me. After I got the work experience, I went back there. I did my NYSC there. So I spent 1 more year there. And when I was doing my NYSC there, that I spent 1 year there, they had now promoted me. So I was no longer an intern. Like, I had entered the company as a full-time employee. And that was me literally transitioning into my first junior developer role. I spent a year there, and then the year was my NYSC year. And then during that year, towards the end of my NYSC, I was already thinking about my life. Where do I go from here? What do I do? I know that sometimes it's hard to get these internships, right, to even start with. But a bunch of them for these companies exist. The thing with the reason why a lot of people will not give junior engineers a chance is because they really can't bet on junior engineers. In a way, you don't blame them. Like, companies just really want to make money. In that moment, they are like, if I hire a junior now, are they going to, like, is their work rate going to be equivalent to the amount of money that we need to stay afloat? Are they going to be able to churn out work that gives us money that helps us maintain this company and maintain them? Essentially, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you just need to make people want to bet on you. You just need to make people want to believe in you. And one way to do that is sometimes you might just need to take a step back so that you can take 7 steps up. I chose to do it regardless because I knew that it was going to pay off. I needed that experience. Now, if you're someone that is not a student and you're like, how do I get an internship through the fact that I'm a student to prove myself, to let people want to bet on me? I think what you can do, honestly, is to find a small company and prove yourself there. Find a small company, start to build, prove yourself there. If that one is hard, start to make open source contributions. And I'm saying this because I'm not about to do a comparison with open source contributions and actual work experience. No, that's not what this is about. But make open source contributions, contribute to open source projects. You and your friends can come together and work on something together, and say, yes, I've worked on this thing. Build a portfolio of things that actually matter. And once in a while, maybe if there's a hackathon, go for it. I'm saying this because I'm not saying hackathon is where somebody might see you and hire you. They might, right? But that's not why I'm saying do a hackathon. I'm saying do a hackathon because apart from the fact that you can already code, which people will be able to see as you try and build your strong portfolio as someone that is entry-level junior, something else a hackathon will do for you is that it helps people actually see that you can be in a team. It helps people actually see that you can work with people, that you have soft skills, that you are a human being. You're not just a robot that knows how to code, essentially. So do that and just keep trying to sell yourself any single chance that you get, online, offline, everywhere you go, sell yourself. At some point, it's going to make sense. That's the thing that I know that, yes, in this generation, everybody, we're like Indomie, we're like microwave. Everything has to be done now, quick, pa. But the truth is that some things just require time. Some things require you to be consistent, but you need to be consistent with a plan. So create a plan and hopefully God will be on your side. So I didn't know if I had ended up in the bank where they were going to actually pay me well for that time. I don't think after 6 months in the bank they would have wanted to keep me as a remote intern. I don't think that would have happened, right? So I don't think I would have gotten that experience. And to be honest, even being that remote intern, I didn't care if at that point I wasn't looking for, okay, you've kept me as a remote intern. After 6 months, I've proven myself, increased my salary, then I'm going to keep working for you as an intern. They still kept me on the shit salary they kept me on. I was on that salary for almost 2 years. So when I joined the company in 2018 as a full staff, that salary multiplied by 2 digits. I don't know if this might work for you 100%, but I'm sure that there are some things from this story that you can take out that can work for you as well. Thank you so much for watching this particular video to the end. If you liked it, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, yeah? And if you're not subscribed to me at this point, please make sure that you subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.